Hello Internet, welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Emerald. In the last episode, we defeated Team Aqua in their base in Lily Cove City, and I said we'd be going east after thinking for a while about what direction east is. We went to the west because I kept forgetting about the Safari Zone that exists in this game. I'm not going in, mostly because the Safari Zone is just so overwhelming in any Pokemon game. But if you have Pokeblocks, you can go in. It's basically the same as the one in Kanto, except obviously with different Pokemon that are native to Hoenn. And I want to go over every single Pokemon you can get there right now. More appear after you beat the game. There are, I believe, 6 zones right now in the Safari Zone. I'll put on screen if that's not right. And yeah, there will be a timestamp on screen in the description and in the comments if you want to skip to a certain time when I'm done with the bios, because this will take forever, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 bios I have to go over right now. Why do I do this to myself? Starting with Girafarig. Girafarig is a normal psychic type, and it's painfully average. I wish it had more to say about it. It isn't unusable. I know that for sure. Lucagen used one in her Pokemon Heart Gold Let's Play, and that was a blind Let's Play, so if she can get by using one, I feel like anybody can. I personally prefer using it only if you're playing the remakes because of the physical special split in moves, but yeah, even now it's not unusable, it's just a little bit weird when it comes to using psychic moves. Doduo! Normal flying type. Who could have guessed that a flying type would have to be part normal as well? One of the faster ones in the game, and it also has a very high attack stat, so it's very much a glass cannon. I'd recommend, I think Early Bird for the ability. Put it on screen if I'm wrong about recommending that, future me. Once it evolves into Dodrio, it becomes basically the definition of a glass cannon. It has a massive attack and speed stat, but it can't take many hits. It gets moves like Tri-Attack, Wing Attack, Fly, Steel Wing for some reason, even though it doesn't have wings. I don't know. It's one of my favorite flying types, and I was planning on using it on the team, much like Swablu and Altaria, until I decided on Swellow instead. Next up is Natu. Natu is a flying psychic type, which is pretty unique. Doesn't get much use out of that type yet because of the lack of a special physical split in moves. Until it evolves into Xatu. Xatu is a pretty powerful special attacker with a high enough speed. The only real bad thing is just the added weaknesses of the flying type, and added fact, Xatu is one of my friend's favorite Pokemon. I don't see what he sees in it, but he sees a lot in it. Wobbuffet. If you've played Pokemon Sword and Shield, you hate this. I already went over Wobbuffet when it hatched from an egg earlier. But now that Pokemon Sword and Shield came out, I just feel like it was worth saying. Pikachu! Series mascot, you'd expect it to be all-powerful, but it's not that great. It's a pure electric type, which is a pretty good type. It only has one weakness, which is ground, but it has low enough defenses that really doesn't matter. On top of that, its speed is its highest stat, and that's not great. You can find one holding an item called a Light Ball, which, when you breed it with something and have a Pichu, that Pichu will know the move Volt Tackle, which is the only way to get a Volt Tackle Pikachu. But, yeah, other than that, the Light Ball essentially just increases Pikachu's attacking stats, which makes it more powerful than its evolution, but with less speed. As for its evolution, Raichu, it's basically just a worse Light Ball Pikachu. It's faster, but it doesn't have as good stats. That's all there really is to say about it. Static is an okay ability, but I'd personally recommend something else if you're going to teach it Thunder Wave, because, I mean, Static really just gets in the way of Thunder Wave a whole lot, but they're both good, they just aren't as good as the anime would have you expect. Psyduck. It's a defensive water type, like, there's not much to say about them. Same goes for Golduck, although something, like, their names were totally mixed up at some point in, like, localization. I'm certain they weren't in Japan, but why is Psyduck called Psyduck, and why is Golduck called Golduck when Psyduck is literally a gold duck? And Psyduck has Pokedex entries that explain its psychic powers, and on top of that, why is it not a psychic type? Rhyhorn. High attack, high defense, low special attack, low special defense, low speed. That's what you're getting with Rhyhorn. It's also a rock ground type, so it has a 4 times weakness to both water and grass. It's the classic situation of being easily defeatable if somebody starts with a water or grass type, but basically impossible to defeat if they start with a fire type. If you're Brock, but you aren't Brock and you're at a point in the game where you're going to be seeing a lot more water and grass types. Same goes for its evolution Rhydon, although Rhydon is definitely a lot more usable just because of how high its attack and its defense are. Also has an evolution in Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, and upwards, but I'm not going to talk about that because you can't get it in Emerald. Phanpy. It's one of the only pure ground types we'll be seeing, but it's just not fantastic. It gets a better ability in upcoming generations, I think in Gen 5 actually, called Skill Link, which allows it to always get all 5 hits on moves that hit anywhere from 2 to 5 times. It doesn't come in that much handy until it gets that ability, but Chugga Conroy did use one in Pokemon Crystal, and obviously he's better at Pokemon than me, so it's definitely usable. Donphan is the same situation, although it does get a lot more moves. Trust me, Phanpy does not get enough moves throughout its lifespan to really make it usable. Donphan definitely does, and it doesn't take that long to evolve a Phanpy. Last, we have Heracross. This is a fighting bug type, which gives it a 4 times weakness to flying. However, it has such good stats, and flying is such a remote type in this generation. I mean, it's not really. We've already talked about like 6 different flying type evolution lines, and there was a flying type gym, which shows that there were clearly enough to make a gym leader and several gym trainers. But, Heracross gets a special move called Mega Horn. This is the most powerful bug type move, and it's one of very few Pokemon that can actually learn it in this generation. If you're looking for a fighting type, Heracross is definitely probably one of the best ones you're going to be seeing. We've already seen most of the rest of what the region has to offer. I think there's one fighting type I haven't gone over, at least that I have in my notes. So, Heracross is probably the best you're going to be seeing until, like, late game. It's pretty good, though. I used one in Soul Silver if you want some examples of how it was good. But my Soul Silver Let's Play is not great, so don't watch it. Back to Lily Cove I go. Now that we've finished off Team Aqua and their base, their grunts are no longer blocking the bay, so we can finally leave. Because Lily Cove's music is just too ominous for me. Okay. Lucky for me, there's no new encounters on Route 124 yet, so I'm growing bored of swimming. How about a battle? Here I am swimming by my lonesome on this wide, beautiful sea. There's no other word for it. This is pathetic! That's like the most ironic text considering you're one of the trainers in this game that's part of a double battle. Ooh, he has a Gyarados. Means he's gonna intimidate my Pokemon on turn 1, which is frustrating. But that also means something special. Carbon's going to be getting her first one-shot that isn't from blowing up. Oh, that... Man, it went from intimidating to leering. Yeah, that's not even close. The attack drop doesn't help. Here's Thunderbolt. Please be a one-shot. Don't make me eat my words. Thank you. 4 times weakness to electric doesn't come very well with you, does it, Gyarados? Even if you have really high special defense. Please don't one-shot Ingo. Thank you. Vengeance. Oh, okay, the Quick Claw is just coming in all the time now. Actually, it might not even be Quick Claw because Carbon and Meryl are both really slow too. I picked a surprising amount of really slow Pokemon for my team in this generation. I had no idea that you were this strong. I'm feeling blue. Blue is the sky. And yeah, You know, sometimes I forget repels exist, and I don't even know if I have repels anymore, so... Oh, we have 1 max repel. What else do we got? We have 10 normal repels. Go with those first. Super repels are, again, the most cost-effective if you want to buy them before you head out in this direction. So as you can tell, this route's just kind of confusing. There's a whole lot of nothing going on. There's a house in the middle of the ocean. I'm the diving treasure hunter. I'm the awesome dude who makes deep-sea dives to gather treasures resting at the bottom. You haven't got any treasures for me. If you see any shards like the red shard, you've got to trade it with me. Got over here. Wanted item, trade item. Red shard, firestone. Yellow shard, thunderstone. Blue shard, waterstone. Green shard, leafstone. I guess this is how you get a leafstone if you want to evolve a Nuzleaf into Shiftry. Luckily, the waterstone has a much easier method than looking for shards underwater, and we can't even go underwater right now, so it's besides the point. Here we are in Mossdeep City. Yeah, we got here pretty quickly, mostly because I didn't look actively for any of the trainers in that ocean, because... Actually, let's check the Pokénav. Look how big this area is. It encompasses Route 124, Route 127, Route 126, and above us, Route 125. Jeez. And then it also goes all the way down here to 129, 130, 131, 132, 133, 134. And then we go back to 109 from there. This is by far the most water that any region has ever had, and man, IGN just hates that fact. The gym leaders in this town are a formidable duo. Their combination attacks are like, excellent and wow! Depending on the special abilities of Pokemon, some moves might change or not work at all. Okay. Let's explore a little bit. Around Mossdeep you can see Wild Whelmer. It's called, what was it now? Wait. Whelmer watching! Why, Whelmer? I got this from Steven, but I don't know what it's good for. I think it's called King's Rock. Do you want it? I mean, I already have one. Because, Appa is a god. But sure. You can keep it, but keep it a secret from Steven. It's a secret to everybody. Well, you know, we have a king. I guess the king isn't Appa because I didn't give Appa the King's Rock because I want him to keep using pickup. So, who shall be the queen? Ingo is not the king. Ingo has the Quick Claw. Carbon has the King's Rock, so Carbon's the queen, actually. Summer has Charcoal, I think. Yeah, we don't really need the Charcoal, so I'll go ahead and give Summer the King's Rock. So now we have the king and the queen. It's a collection of rare rocks and stones assembled by Steven. It's a collection of rare rocks and stones assembled by Steven. That guy must have all the rocks in the universe. You're wheezing. It looks yellow Pokeblocks, doesn't it? No, I'm positive of it. It definitely likes yellow Pokeblocks. My husband can tell what kind of Pokeblocks a Pokemon likes at a glance. This is a good house for people who like contests for some reason. The Island Space Center has been launching huge rockets. There's been some kind of uproar over a letter they received recently. I heard from a sailor buddy that Team Aqua set up shop in Lily Cove. I also heard that someone came along and wiped the floor with them. But Mossdeep here has been targeted by that Team Magma. If you want to know what they're up to, go visit the Space Center. Uh-oh. That sounds bad. Oh, you're welcome. You play games using wireless communication. Can you wait just a little bit? You can do this like you can in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. You have Pokemon Jump and Dodrio Berry Picking. Not going over it because it's stupid, and it was even stupid in Fire Red and Leaf Green, but I didn't know what it was. It feels great letting the waves wash over my feet. Speaking of the waves, you know that island city, Sutopolis? I think the gym there had a new leader come in. People tell me the new leader once mentored Wallace. Who's Wallace? I need context for things like that. All life needs the sea to live, even though it makes its home on the land. Life, having run its course, becomes soil and returns to the land, and the sea is always connected to the land. Yes, like the very shoreline here. We're not on the shoreline, that's down there. You can get a netball here. This is more effective on water and bug-type Pokemon. It's actually one of the more helpful balls, especially in a game like this. Winter, feeling good? I'm doing great. I'd heard Mossdeep's gym leader is pretty strong, so I decided to come take a look-see for myself. But there's something wrong about this town. People are going on about a warning letter in the Space Center. I don't think it concerns me in any way, though. Hey all, Scott here! I forgot. Oh god. I'm slipping. My little sister exchanges mail with her boyfriend in Fortree. I don't envy her one bit at all. Even though I can't see my friend in Fortree, my Pokemon carries mail back and forth for us. It's not lonesome, even... How does she have a boyfriend? She looks 6. This rock has a special meaning to the people at the Space Center. They put it here as their wish for their rockets to fly safely. When you make a wish, what do you use? Do you wish upon a star? I use a wish tag to make it happen. That's what I do. What is a wish tag? Sounds like Whiscash, and I don't like that. Wouldn't it be nice if the whole world was covered in plants and flowers like this island? That means more pollen. A voyage on a ship is fine, but crossing the sea with Pokemon using Surf. Now that's an exhilarating trip, wouldn't you agree, youngster? Hey there, trainer, a Super Rod really is super. Say what you want, but this baby can catch Pokemon off the seafloor. What do you think? You want it, don't you? You bet, after all, a Super Rod is really super. Oh god. I'm not going over the Pokemon you can catch with the Super Rod. I'll do that, like, much later in the post-game, because I forgot you could even get the Super Rod here. Uh-oh. I was taking a stroll down the beach when I found this. It's not anything I need, so you can have it. Give you a Sunstone. You can use this on a Gloom to evolve it into a Blossom. The Hoenn region has been famous for its meteor showers for a long time. Some people claim that Pokemon came from space. Could it be true? It could be. A giant chunk of metal bursts through the skies and flies into space. It boggles my mind. The rocket's launch is imminent. That sounds threatening. A rocket launch demands perfection. Not even a 1% margin of error is allowed. Even if it's 99% okay, the whole thing is useless if 1% happens to be no good. Despite that, we never stop trying. Why? It's a dream that never ends. More like a nightmare. Winter, have you read that proclamation already? Team Magma is coming after the rocket fuel on this island. I don't know what they'd need it for, but they can't be allowed to take it. I'll keep an eye on things for a while longer. In the meantime, why don't you go check out the town? This is an intent to steal notice. To the staff of the Space Center. How are you? We're doing fine. We'll soon visit you and take your rocket fuel. Please don't try to stop us. We'll take the fuel no matter what. Let there be more land. Team Magma. Alright, Team Magma. Sounds pretty good. I wish ordinary people could go into space one day. Elon Musk would like a word with you, sir. Mossdeep is mainly sunny weather and its winds are stable. It's an ideal location for launching rockets. Pretty neat. If only I was a little younger, I would have liked to be an astronaut. No, it's not too late. I can and will try. Alright, buddy. The Delta episode would like to speak with you. Alright, what's around here? Just a tiny rocket. I think when a 10-year-old is a quarter of the size of your rocket, you need to make it a little bigger. Like, that's just something I think. I'm not certain, but I think it's reasonable to believe that. There's one thing I want to go over before I end the episode. I know we haven't really done much, but time flies. I wanted to save the gym for the next episode, so... This guy will teach your Pokemon Mega Kick, I believe. Maybe? I better check, actually. I can't do this anymore! It's utterly hopeless! I'm a fighting-type trainer, so I can't win in the Mossdeep gym no matter how hard I try. Ah! Punch, 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 punch! What? Don't look at me that way, I'm only hitting the ground. Or do you want me to teach your Pokemon Dynamic Punch? Okay, that is a 100 power fighting-type move with 50% accuracy that always confuses. It's not great, but it works. There are certain Pokemon that can use it really well in future generations. If we head up here, had to check something real quick. Okay, if you head up here, Route 125, there are no new encounters on Route 125 itself yet. Okay, buddy. Okay, I'll tell you why I'm here. I wasn't asking, but okay. Hey, was it you throwing garbage into the sea? No. Speaking of Pokemon that will be good at using Dynamic Punch in the future, geez, hello Machamp, your sprite is like, really, it's making me uncomfortable kind of. I don't like this sprite at all. Where's your belt? Or does Machamp even have a belt? Does it lose it when it evolves? I don't know the answer to this. Oh, you weren't throwing trash into the sea. Yeah, I wasn't. Presumptuous old person. Boomer. Okay, boomer. And a big pearl here that sells for a ton of money. It's worth the 2 double battles. It wasn't 2 double battles, it was just 2 battles. Okay, I'm looking for something on this route. You could obviously tell earlier that it was just a very small section on the map, so it's not a huge route, but it is a bit hard to find what I'm looking for anyway. Oh, I found it. Shoal Cave. Alright. Are you planning on going deep in there? How about bringing me back some shoal salt and shoal shells? You can make something good if you bring me the ingredients. Not gonna do that. He gives you either a shell bell or a shed shell? I'm not certain, actually. Huh. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. All that matters is that there are some new encounters in here, and of course I'm gonna go over them. Spheal. Water Ice type is a pretty common type as far as Ice type Pokemon go. It's almost always going to be shared with water. Obviously higher special attack than it has attack, but its attack is nothing to sneeze at. When it evolves, it turns into Celio, which obviously just a better Spheal. But it really gets good when it evolves into Walrein. Walrein has obviously still the Water Ice type, so it has all the weaknesses that come with that, and Ice is the worst defensive type, so really you're only getting rid of Fire by giving it the Water type, but whatever, it's fine. But Walrein can learn so many different moves, it gets so much type coverage, and as long as you aren't using it against Pokemon that will obviously get the type advantage against it, it'll probably be fine in battle. It gets moves like Surf, Blizzard, Ice Beam, Earthquake, Rock Tomb, so many others too. So if you're still looking for a Water-type Pokemon, I can recommend Walrein. It just takes a while for Celio to evolve. I believe it's the same level as Lairon evolves into Aggron, if not a little sooner. Next, we finally have the evolved form of Zubat, Golbat. Equally as fast, equally as mixed attacking stats. It doesn't really do anything that Zubat doesn't, it just does everything Zubat does better, including confusing opponents, getting flinches with Bite, that sort of thing. But it's definitely better, and if you level it up when it has high friendship, you can get yourself a Crobat. Crobat is a poison flying type, which, again, it's not the best type, not the worst type. Does all the same things, except better. It can also learn Toxic, which is one of the best moves to actually have on a Crobat. Not quite yet in this generation, but in future generations, definitely. Crobat is a Pokemon I've used before, not in any Let's Plays, but I've definitely used it before, and it used to be competitively viable in Black 2 and White 2, so obviously people have used it quite commonly and found ways to make it good, so if you want to use it because it's good, that's valid. Snorunt, Glalie, Glalie is just, it's too fragile, kind of, like, it has higher defensive stats than most ice types, but again, ice is the worst defensive type, so that's not saying much. Snorunt does get a second evolution in Gen 4, which is much better than Glalie, but for now, I mean, Glalie's all you'll be finding if you want a pure ice type, but it's not the greatest. Anyways, sorry for, like, glossing over Snorunt. I know there are people that definitely like Snorunt and Glalie more than I do, and I even used one in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire when I first played those games. But, I mean, in my experience using one, it just isn't great. I'm not saying it's impossible to use well, as I've pointed out in the beginning of the series. I feel like every Pokemon is usable to some extent. I just feel like they aren't all really created equal, I guess. Whatever. Next time on Pokemon Emerald, we are going to be heading to the gym, I believe, to take out the duo, as we've heard, Liza and Tate. See you guys then. Not healing my Pokemon again.